Well, Light, it's all over.
Hello guys, welcome back to my reaction channel. Today we're going to be reacting to Death Note episode 4. Guys, okay, some interesting, amazing, mind-blowing stuff are happening in Naruto right now that where I'm at. Amazing, and here this anime is also mind-blowing. I really, wow, what a parallel, man. I'm enjoying this anime so far, and we're gonna be jumping right into this. But the last episode of this anime gave us a lot of information. So far, the first 3 episodes have been nothing but information and kind of, you know, these two guys topping one another. So looks like this main protagonist, aka Kira, aka Light, he's being followed, and I believe that that detective put an FBI agent on every suspect that he deems worthy of his time, because we saw he went through the biographies of all the policemen involved in the investigation, and this kid made a mistake to kind of inform him that he has intel from the police force. So this is awesome, man. Wow, I love the strategy. I love how they analyze every aspect. How is this like it's like they're playing chess, and I'm here for it. I love chess, by the way. So let's jump right into this, guys. But before we do, if you enjoy my reactions, feel free to share, subscribe, like, leave a comment, ring that bell for notifications, guys. Follow me on Instagram, join my Discord server, and let's jump right into this reaction. Let's go.
What?
Again, a recap.
Another 23 victims yesterday? Are these confirmed?
As soon as we began to suspect that Kira might be a student, the pacing of the
Yup.
killings changed, as if to contradict that theory. This can only mean that Kira has access to police information.
He always finds a detail in any move this kid makes, and the kid is smart AF also.
Of the leak.
You're being followed by another human. He's watching you right now.
And the deal with the eyes, we got that at the ending of the episode. That was also
Through a Shinigami's eyes, a human's name can be seen.
He can see.
Not only that, we see their lifespan as well. However, if a Shinigami drops his Death Note and a human picks it up, he can grant that human the eyes of a Shinigami. The price for having a Shinigami's eyes is half of that person's
that's a
remaining
steep
lifespan.
price, man.
That's all it is. So, what'll it be like? Is it a deal?
Pursuit. Okay, guys, before he answers, I'm assuming we're gonna get an answer here. They made him look like he's like, with that power, I'll be able to do everything, so I'm assuming he's gonna take the deal. This kid really doesn't care. Like, he even mentioned at one point that he's like, I might have to kill off my entire family to keep this a secret. So he's willing to go that far. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's gonna take this deal. Half of his remaining lifespan? Are you kidding? What if you're like destined to live 10 more years and you give 5 to this guy? That's like, you know, because you never know. Like, even if it's 60 years, you're turning that down to 30. Like, that's a lot of time, man. So he needs to think through this. He can't just rush. But the sales pitch from this god of death was on point. He kind of played on his ego a little bit, like the godly, egoistic side. So you never know.
Has anyone seen Ryuk around lately?
This guy has a skull for a freaking neck, and he started talking way like up here. That's
Maybe he was serious about losing his Death Note.
It was probably picked up by some human before he could get to it.
No way. Then he'd be stuck there till the end of that human's life or until the Death Note was destroyed. That could take a while.
Yeah, I can't picture Ryuk doing something so boring. But you know what? I actually heard he was carrying 2 Death Notes. Seriously, why would
yeah. We saw he had one
It's
more.
me. I'll never understand that guy.
Okay, these gods of death look insane. I'm not gonna lie, their design is on point. They're like scary looking, like the bringers of death, like Grand Reapers, man. And they mentioned this. He has 2 Death Notes. Yeah, he dropped one on purpose, and these guys are assuming that a human didn't get it because that's boring to them. But we saw that this guy's different. This god of death, this Shinigami as they call it, that must be a part of of Japan's mythology, because a lot of these characters here and in Naruto and in OG Dragon Ball was derived from real life mythology, and I love that. Okay, I love that, how they took the inspiration, the original writers, from things in real life and put it into perspective here as they see it, like built up these characters, amazing characters here. This guy is different from the other lazy ones. He even described them as lazy, you know. So he wanted some excitement in his life. So he wanted to get stuck with a kid like this till the kid dies eventually and experience all this, because he keeps repeating humans are so interesting. So I can totally see this guy helping this kid out when he's in a bind, a real bind, because I believe this guy is gonna get slowly addicted to this kid, because this kid has that mindset like a true god. Like, he really believes he's doing godly thing, like, you know?
So, the price for receiving the eyes of a Shinigami is no more than half of my remaining life.
So he's gonna accept?
That's it, right?
Yes. Well then, do we have a deal or not?
Ryuk, this deal is out of the question.
Huh?
This kid's smarter than I thought. I really thought that this Shinigami played well on his godly ego, but no, this kid is able to comprehend, like, that is a steep price to pay. So he's not dumb, man. He was able to put his ego aside, even though it would make things much easier for him, but he was like, no, this deal is out of the question. Interesting, man. I'm intrigued. I really am. Like, the storytelling here is...
Let's get this straight. My plan is to create an ideal new world free from evil and all criminals.
Okay.
And I intend to reign as a god in that world for a very long time. I might consider the deal if it lengthened my life, but not if it
okay,
does
so he
sooner.
wants to...
I figured you, of all people, should know I wouldn't take this deal.
Yeah. I still felt I should tell you that the deal existed just in case. Anyway, I've done my part. I don't need you complaining I didn't tell you this earlier on.
Okay.
This is what you call telling me early on?
Yeah!
Don't you think you're a little late? I don't see why you couldn't have told me this when we met. Or better yet, you could have simply included it in the instructions for the Death Note.
No, I think he wanted to entrap him here because he is in a difficult situation right now, okay? He's being followed. So he waited for a specific, you know, point in time to tell him, for him to feel like he has no other choice, because we know that the half of the lifespan that he's paying goes to this Shinigami. So I think this god of death, like he said, I'm not on your side. He said it bluntly. I'm not on that guy's side or yours. I'm neutral here. I'm just stuck with you, okay? So I believe he's praying, he wants to get something out of this, his lifespan, okay? So he's kind of like, I'm your friend, I'm not on your side, but I'm still here for you. But at the same time, I feel like he wanted to entrap the kid, you know, the boy, but he's too intuitive to fall for it.
Good point. He's not the slightest bit daunted by the fact that I'm a Shinigami. He doesn't suck up to me, and he seems to have no problem giving me a hard time.
Another good point, man. I would be like, you know, if this thing was hovering over me the entire day, right out of the blue, me not knowing anything about him aside from the fact that he's the god of death, I would be traumatized, man. I would be so scared I couldn't sleep knowing that that thing is there in my freaking bedroom. But no, this boy is even giving him a hard time. He's like he's his boss. So he really does have that godly aura, like that godly character. Like, you're not above me. I might be human, but what you looking at? You know, this kid is something.
Well, you sure there's nothing else you want to tell me ahead of time? Shinigami?
No, nothing else.
He's even patronizing him.
Probably.
Really? That's too bad.
What do you mean?
You
What
know,
did he say? Nothing else? Probably in his inner dialogue. So does that mean that this guy doesn't know all the rules either? Something's fishy here. But this kid is direct, and
I might have seriously considered the deal if you'd offer me wings instead of eyes. Just the idea of flying around freely in the sky sounds very godlike. After all, it's been mankind's dream since antiquity to be able to fly.
You'd stand out if you sprouted wings and flew around.
well, we did create planes.
Trouble finding you.
I was only joking.
Oh.
Anyway, if I keep bargaining for eyes and wings and whatever else, next thing you know, I'm gonna end up becoming a real Shinigami.
That's true, man. He's gonna look like this guy.
Who knows? I bet that could be pretty interesting.
I wouldn't worry. Even without the eyes and the wings, you're already a worthy Shinigami.
Okay, that's a compliment from a god of death. So, should you consider that as a compliment? Like, you're killing people and he's like, you're doing a fine job, but essentially, you're a bad dude, you know? But they brought up something very interesting here. Can a human become a Shinigami? Because the way I see it here, yeah, if he can bargain for the eyes, if he can bargain for the wings, does that mean that eventually this kid might actually become a Shinigami? Because how are they created? Is this story gonna go so deep that they're gonna explain the root of all of that? And this kid might eventually end up being a god like he wants to in the human world, being able to fly without them seeing him if they don't. Is he gonna get his own Death Note? Where do these Death Notes reside? Where do they come from? Like, so many questions. Very interesting story.
The Shinigami realm is slowly rotting. We lead meaningless and empty lives.
Oh.
And the only reason we still take human lives is because we're afraid to die ourselves. The truth of the matter is that we no longer even know why we exist.
Oh.
In fact, I doubt there's any reason for our existence at all. What I'm saying is, compared to that, you're becoming a much more impressive Shinigami.
I don't know about that. I mean, from what you're telling me, it sounds like I'm doing a lot more work than they are, but I don't want to be compared to a Shinigami. I'm a human using this Death Note to make the world a better place for other humans.
Okay.
But I wouldn't necessarily say that the Shinigami realm is meaningless to humans either.
Huh? Why do you say that?
Well, just think about it. Whenever a Shinigami like you comes to the human world once every 100, no more like every 1,000 years, the human world changes dramatically. The existence of the Shinigami realm was extremely significant.
Really?
You told me just now that the Shinigami realm is slowly rotting, right? Well, when you return from this world, why not use what you've learned here to try and change it for the better?
Well, Light, I'm not sure why I never noticed this until now, but you're quite the positive thinker.
Yeah, of course I am. That's why I'm using the Death Note to create a better world. You have to be a positive thinker to even attempt something like that.
Okay, I honestly have to say, I gotta give this kid props because he's very intelligent and the way he looks at life, it's like, you know, he even began to inspire the Shinigami. The way he explained and you know, described his world, like it's falling apart, it's dying, and the only reason why Shinigami keep killing people and taking their lifespan is because they themselves are afraid to die. So he believes that they have no purpose. But this kid like saw him this like first time. Before this, he didn't even know they existed. And he's like, no, I see your existence is very meaningful, but because every time you come here, every 100, no, 1,000 years, things drastically change. So your world, your realm, is your existence is very important for our development, you know, because he arrived here and in this small time frame, this kid got the Death Note, killed countless of inmates, and everybody's perspective on life shifted, okay? Criminals began to like go into their holes and everybody's like, you know, thinking what's real, what's not, what, you know, what's possible, what's not. So yeah, when you think of it from that perspective, gods of death are important, but the way the god of death himself described them, it's almost as if they have no purpose. So interesting. I gotta give this kid props. He's not afraid. He's just, you know, he knows his goal and he's working towards that goal, even though it's twisted as hell, in my opinion. But loving the plot so far.
That's it. I got it.
Got what? What's this about?
He seems to be almost smarter than this Shinigami
I
kid.
just figured out how to find the name of the guy who was following me today.
How are you gonna do that?
I'm gonna use the rules of the Death Note to my advantage. I already know that if I write down a cause of death, I've got 6 minutes and 40 seconds to record the conditions and exact time of death.
Okay.
First, I need to know exactly how far I can go in terms of specifying the details of death. This should be interesting.
So he's gonna test out the Death Note again.
Yeah, it's me.
To see the limits
6
of
inmates
its
were found
power.
dead last night. All were heart attacks. It's him.
Okay, new
What?
deaths.
Bizarre behavior before they died? Could you be more specific? What do you mean? So they didn't just die from heart attacks?
No, what I'm saying is they all died of heart attacks, but it wasn't quite that simple. Before one of them died, he drew a pentagram on the wall of his cell using his own blood. Another left a letter, but it doesn't seem to be a will or anything meaningful. And as for the third victim, he escaped from his cell and ran all the way to the staff bathrooms before he died.
So wait a minute, he can now make them... He proved to himself that he has the power to make people do things before they eventually die. So this is a dangerous power. What if you like, this guy's gonna die, but before that he's gonna kill 10 more people. Like that's... He can actually control people with this thing. This is a very... Okay, so... This boy almost looks as if he's smarter than the Shinigami himself. Like the Shinigami is looking at him, listening to him, he's like inspired by the boy. He's like, this guy's smart. And this God of Death has been around for like who knows how many years, so he should be smart AF. But no, he looks like an average person just chilling, just floating there. Like he's there, but he's, you know?
What is it, Watari?
3 more heart attack victims.
Matari?
The circumstances of their deaths are different from what we've seen thus far.
What do you mean by different?
I'm sending you a copy of a letter as well as pictures taken at the scene.
Okay. It sounds like he was afraid that Kira would find him. It's believable that our victim might have been genuinely afraid and wrote this, but we know Kira can control the time of death. What if he can also determine the actions in the moments leading up to death? In which case...
Chief.
Huh?
We can't release details of these men's deaths to the media. As far as they're concerned, these are just heart attacks. I have reason to believe that Kira was performing some kind of test using these criminals. And if that's the case, we'd only be giving him the results if this information is leaked to the public.
Right, I understand.
But he still can access his dad's laptop and see for himself the cause of that. Okay, guys, I don't know how this guy L is so intuitive, but he jumped like to that conclusion right away. And did you see his room? It's almost as if it's an empty room with a laptop on his floor. So that's also kind of interesting. It's also...
So now he's experimenting on his victims?
Yeah.
Horrible.
He's playing with people's lives as if all this was just a game. It's unforgivable.
If only you knew that's your kid you're talking about.
If Kira is really using criminals as test subjects, what is he trying to achieve?
He's testing the limits of the Death Note's power, I guess. Yeah.
Look at this, Ryuk. I think we're in luck. The results of yesterday's little test have already
He
been
has
downloaded
access.
onto my dad's computer. And these results are just as I expected. The Death Note will work for what I have in mind.
What
And
do
he
you mean
has
by
a
that?
plan.
One of them escaped and ran into the bathroom I had specified in the Death Note. Since this couldn't happen, he simply died of a heart attack in prison. Even the Death Note can't do the impossible. But as long as it's within the realistic limits of what that person might do, I can control them as much as I want before they die.
Damn, man, that's a lot of power in a teenager, man. Are you serious? So it looks like this Death Note thing cannot do what's impossible, but it sure can do something that's in a scope of what these guys might be capable of, like drawing that pentagram, whatever that was, and okay, so this dude can now control people before their inevitable demise by his hand. That is dangerous. Okay, if he finds out the name of that guy, that the only guy that can contact L, maybe he can like write, kill L before you die and dispose of them both. Because we saw that guy is in contact with the police, so he might get to his name and face. And only L is in that room, wherever that is, but I'm assuming that guy has or knows where L is. So that guy might be how, this might be his plan. But he doesn't know about that guy, does he? I mean, he might have gotten that information from his dad as well. That's my theory. Like, he's gonna use the other guy, the only guy that can contact L to dispose of L by making him kill L before he eventually dies.
That's very clever. But What's all this leading to? What's the point?
These latest victims will no doubt keep Elle and the police guessing. Even as we speak, he's probably trying to decipher all the clues I left for him. Especially that little note. That absolutely meaningless dying message.
He wrote him some...
If Kira used those criminals to conduct an experiment of some sort, it means he's about to start something. If he moves now, there's a good chance that the FBI will notice someone acting suspiciously. But perhaps he has a different goal in mind altogether. Could the pentagram and this letter be some kind of message?
He's falling into a trap.
Is this it?
Alright, time for the real thing.
Real thing?
Yesterday on the news, they said this drug addict tried to rob a bank but was unsuccessful. He attacked a few people and then ran away empty-handed. I'll use him. It's kinda last minute, but I'm sure I can find someone.
He'll use him? For what? And that dude didn't kill anybody, did he? So he's... Okay, I don't know what this kid is planning, but... I love the fact that we get to see and hear the thought process of both parties, okay? How he thinks this other dude is gonna think, then we see how this other dude is eventually thinking. Is he falling for the trap? How is he gonna counter the move? It's literally like playing chess, and they're playing 5 moves ahead, which only professionals do. So this kid, man, he's in high school, and he's able to perform on such a level and give the best detective in the world, apparently, such a hard time. I mean, these aren't normal circumstances, of course, because this kid is killing out of his room with supernatural power, talking to a god of death, looking the way he looks, but still, man, this is impressive.
I got a few people in mind.
Impressive
A few
story.
people. For what?
You'll see. Believe it or not, I'm actually a rather popular guy. Ryuk.
What? Ryuk? I need to learn his name. That's a cool name, Ryuk.
Hello?
So he's setting light. Yes.
Morning.
So he's the human who uses the Death Note can either go to heaven or hell. Okay, we know this. So he's putting his... Okay, I know this. So he's putting his essential plan into action here. I don't know what he's planning, but he said he's a rather popular guy.
He's still following me.
Yeah.
Perfect. This whole thing would just be a waste of time if he wasn't tailing me.
So is this guy gonna throw him off the trail?
Light!
A date?
Yeah. It's a date no matter how you look at it. And I'm sure even my stalker will see it that way.
But this isn't just a date, is it? You said that you'd figured out a way to find your stalker's name. So tell me, what do you plan on doing?
Huh? Come on. Didn't you see what I wrote in the Death Note? I explained it in great detail.
No. Doing that would take all the fun out of it.
In that case, just be patient and watch what happens.
What?
Sorry, did I keep you waiting?
No, not at all.
So I'm assuming he went on an actual date with a girl he has no interest in to kind of throw that guy that's following him off his trail, because this is something a real high schooler would do, go on dates, right? So that's what he meant by I'm a pretty popular guy, like he can get the ladies. Okay, I see
I
you.
haven't been to Spaceland since junior high. I'm so excited. And the best part is I have you all to myself.
Yeah.
So is this his real girlfriend, or did
During the week, he goes to school and cram school at night. Dates on his day off. A normal kid, just a hardworking senior in high school.
see?
Chief Yagami's son, Light Yagami.
Light Yagami, I was right.
At any rate, I'll be done with my surveillance today, and that'll be it.
So he'll be done with his surveillance
I don't
today.
get it, Light.
And we heard his thoughts, so he doesn't suspect this kid at all. But this kid has something planned to figure out this guy's name so he can kill him off. See, that's that dangerous thin line that he's walking that I was referring to, man.
Didn't you say you weren't going out until entrance exams were over?
He's behind
Before
him.
I scored #1 on the national practice exams.
Oh, you're such a nerd.
And he can hear the conversation too. Okay, so that's dope. Because he thinks that this kid Light doesn't know him. Like, he doesn't know that he's being trailed, but he knows, man. That's what's dangerous about this kid. He's perceptive. Okay, and all this guy is seeing is a normal date.
It's him. He's here.
That's that guy who robbed the bank or tried to?
7 passengers, excluding him. No one's in the way. Everything should go smoothly.
Stay in your seats unless you want to die.
What?
A bus jacking? You gotta be kidding me. Everybody shut up! If anybody moves, I'm putting a bullet in their head. All right, driver. You listen to me. I know you've got the number for Spaceland's office on you. Call them.
Okay. This is Sasaki, calling from bus 174.
Tell them what's going on, and no tricks either.
My bus has been hijacked, and he's holding a gun to my head.
Give me that. You heard what he said. Now you listen up. Have a female staff member bring all of Spaceland's cash from yesterday. I know it's there. Have him meet us 2 bus stops from the park, and don't make me wait. If you mess with me at all, or try to get the police involved, I swear I'll kill every one of these passengers.
He doesn't seem phased. Is this still according to his plan? Like he's... What? Why would he put himself in danger like that?
Yuri, don't be scared. As soon as he turns around, I'm going to grab the gun out of his hand.
Don't be stupid. That's risky. If it comes to that, I'll take care of it.
What?
It's okay. We don't have to pass notes back and forth. As long as we keep it down, he won't be able to hear our voices over the sound of the engine.
Do you have any proof that you're not his accomplice? Why should we trust you?
Accomplice?
Yes, I've read about this before. The first hijacker comes in like he's working alone. Meanwhile, the second one pretends to be a hostage and stays in the very back just in case something goes wrong. What's the matter?
You really think he is one?
I have no choice. I'm sure Light Yagami isn't Kira. If he was, he could just kill this guy with a heart attack. Here's my proof.
That was so smart of him, man! He played him like that, and this guy actually took the time to consider that this kid might be Kira. And then he was like, I'm sure because he was because who his dad is, he's like, there's no way, like, he could kill this guy if he was. But he's not considering the fact that, so he set all this in motion to put this guy in a situation where he needs to give him his credentials. And now he has everything he needs to kill him off, which is pretty sad because this guy doesn't, like, he's gonna dig himself a hole because this guy would eventually go back and say that he's not, like, he's a normal kid. But if he dies, that actually might put some suspicion on him, you know, because he was trailing him and then he just died. So this, I don't think this kid is thinking this through.
Take a look.
FBI? I see. El needed an outsider, so we got the FBI to investigate.
They said the
anyone
FBI.
connected to the
I thought
Japanese
so.
police. His name is Ray Penber.
Ray Penber? Yeah, the smirk, the evil
Trust
smirk.
you. And I guess for the time being, I won't bother asking what an FBI agent is doing on the bus in the first place. Do you have a gun?
Yeah, I've got one.
So if it comes down to it, I can rely on you, right?
Yes. Shut the hell up, you old hag! You want me to shoot you right now? That's right. This guy, his face was all over the local news just a few days ago. Some junkie, he tried to rob a bank, ended up killing 3 people before he got away.
Oh, he did kill 3 people. Okay, is this guy gonna make the connection? This FBI agent seems smart. Is he gonna make the connection because he was broadcasted on the news that this kid might actually be... Does this guy know the information that that guy L was, like, contemplating that this Kira guy might actually be able to control the actions before their death? Is this guy gonna connect it?
He's extremely dangerous.
We're safe. He won't shoot us. In fact, he's not gonna do anything.
Don't move, you little punk!
Okay.
What the hell is that? Smartass! You guys were planning something back here, weren't you? Damn it. If he sees that note from before,
Oh.
he'll find out the Light was planning to jump him and take his gun away.
Yeah.
Plans
Is
for
this
a
still-
date, huh? Stupid kid.
That's a different note? What? What do you mean? He set this up as well?
Who the hell are you? You in the very back. What do you think you're doing?
What?
Don't mess with me! How long have you been hiding back there?
What's this?
What?
You're talking to me? So you mean you can actually see me right now?
Stay there, you!
What? How?
You! Keep away from me, you freak! This isn't good. He's hallucinating. Everyone, get down!
What is
Oh, I get
happening?
it. That little note that Light accidentally dropped was actually torn from the pages of the Death Note itself. Since he tricked this
No way! Oh my god, that's what he meant by gotcha! He planned every aspect of that. Okay, this kid is officially amazing. I have what? He planned that. And of course this guy's gonna freak out when he sees a monstrosity all of a sudden in the back of the bus. And all the while that guy said this guy's hallucinating, so he's putting everybody in danger by wheeling the gun. That's why he said everybody down, so this is all going according to this kid's plan, I'm assuming.
guy into touching the paper. He's the only other one on the bus who can see me. That's so smart.
Get away!
That is smart! And we already heard you cannot kill him!
So I'm afraid your bullets aren't gonna kill me.
And that's making this guy even more unhinged. Just look at this thing. He emptied the gun.
Anyone who touches the Death Note can see me. I have to stay till the Death Note is finished, or I see you die, whichever comes first. And a Shinigami can't die from being shot. I've said all these things at one time or another. Well, he is the top-ranked student in the country. Guess I shouldn't be surprised. He even used this hijacking as a way
surprised.
to get the guy following him to willingly give up his name.
Yeah.
The bus! Let me off!
And okay, this guy trying to escape, and this guy's trying to. Oh my god, that's his death. That's what the kid wrote. He wrote all of this. He planned all of this. And look at him just sitting
11:45
there.
on the dot. Everything went just as I planned. Kiichiro
This kid is
Hosoda,
diabolical.
accidental death. Boards the 11:31 Spaceland-bound bus near the eastern entrance to the park, holding a loaded gun and attempts to hijack the bus. He sees a horrific phantom and empties his gun trying to kill it. Terrified, he flees the bus. Immediately afterwards at 11:45, he dies when struck by a car.
He planned all of this. He wrote all of this down. It's like he's God, man. He
Death
really
Note
is.
never fails.
He's messing with people's
You
lives, their
will
destiny,
be next,
man.
Ray Penber.
To be continued, and the sheer fact that this kid is just standing at the back of the bus, sitting down at the back of the bus, just looking at his watch like right on time, not even fazed by the death that he just caused or the trouble and torment to these people. He's just thinking about the next victim, this guy, this FBI agent who isn't even a bad dude. So that's what I'm telling you, man. This is a dangerous, dangerous philosophy. He started killing off even good guys. Okay, so there's no, like, he's a villain. Okay, his philosophy is dangerous. I love how intuitive he is. His planning was on point, man. To use a Shinigami, man, every detail was used. Like, this Shinigami told him that. He told him that, like, not to entice him or anything. He just told him that, like, because he was talkative that day. And he even used that you cannot kill a Shinigami with, you know? Even if you can see him, you cannot shoot him. It just goes through him. And he wrote, emptied the gun into a horrific monster at the back of the bus. And he threw that little piece of paper, and I was like, that's a different note? And it was actually the note from the Death Note. So every page, every page? So wait a minute, does that mean that it works the same? Like if you take a page out of the book and like get the book back into the drawer, you can still use that, like a sheet of paper from Death Note. It's still powerful enough. You can just write it down and throw it away, and the guy's still gonna die. Is that what you're telling me here? Because that sheet of paper was torn from that book, and this guy touched it, and still he saw that creature. So it doesn't matter if you like rip the pages out. It still works. But what happens when you eventually run out of paper? That's what I want to know. That's an interesting question. Tell me in the comments if you know, if it's not a spoiler. And yeah, keep in mind that I do ask an absurd amount of questions. There are probably the answers of most of the questions I ask are spoilery AF. And I mentioned this before. If it's spoilery, feel free to tell me in the comments. Hey, dum, that's spoilery. Don't ask us something you don't want to hear, okay? I'm still gonna keep asking it because that's just the way I am. I need to know everything now, okay? But that doesn't mean you should answer me. Just tell me I'm a dum and you know I should wait. And that's all. Yeah, that's all I have for you today, guys. I really enjoyed this episode, man, and I hope you enjoyed the reaction. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye, guys. I'm really enjoying this show. See you later.